Hey guys, in this video I'll show you very effective ways to help you save some battery life. This will possibly help your phone last a lot longer, but before starting the video, just want to get all of this out of the way. All of this has to be done by compressing performance in one way or the other. Now there are some things you don't really use that are just wasting your battery, and there might be some things that might affect performance a little bit. So you have to find a balance between performance and battery life. So go through the list, see what you really want to change and ignore the other ones. And with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so starting off our list, the very first thing we want to look at is into the control panel and Bluetooth and AirDrop. So make sure Bluetooth is turned off and make sure AirDrop is also turned off because it is a feature most of us are not using all the time, so it's better to have it turned off. Now for Bluetooth, if you turn it off from here, it might look like it's turned off, but if we actually go into settings and Bluetooth right here, and you'll see it's actually turned on, even though it shows that it's turned off in the control panel. So Bluetooth needs to be turned off from the settings. And this is how you properly turn off Bluetooth. So when you're turning it off from the control panel, you're just disconnecting any devices or anything that was available, but you're not actually turning it off. So Apple changed it with iOS 11. I don't know why, but this is what you have to do. And the second thing we're going to look at is display and brightness. So in display and brightness, make sure your auto lock is 30 seconds or the minimum it needs to be. Because many times when you forget to lock your device, it will stay on for that period of time. So 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, so whatever you have it, and that will eat your battery life pretty fast. So make sure you have it to 30 seconds. You don't need it more than that. You can just unlock your phone again if you need to. It doesn't take long. And going back, we're going to go into general, accessibility, display accommodation, and from here auto brightness. So Apple did change the placement of the auto brightness. I don't know why, but this is where you can find it. And make sure auto brightness is turned off. It's just another thing that will eat your battery. All the sensors detecting the environment around you and adjusting the brightness. You can simply do it yourself. It doesn't really take long. And while we're in display accommodations, you can also reduce white points. So this will reduce the whiteness of the display, so you can use this to make your phone go even darker. And reducing the brightness will save you a lot of battery if you need to. But anyways, I'm gonna go back, and from here let's go back and go into notifications. So from here I recommend turning off app you don't really need any notifications from. So games right here, I don't really need any notifications from him, so I have it turned off. Any other app you don't really use, health or whatever it is, turn it off. It's just one less app that will be constantly updating itself, trying to fetch you with new data. Moving on, let's go back and let's go into wallpapers. And from here I recommend having a still wallpaper and have it still here as well instead of having a perspective. It will reduce the sensors that are being used in giving this motion effect, so that will save you a little bit of battery. And dynamic wallpapers eat even a lot more battery because they are live wallpapers and they're moving all the time, so that will take a little bit more processing and a little bit more power. So going back, we're going to go back into general and from here background app refresh. Now another place where you want to have most of the apps turned off, because for most part you don't really need apps running in the background. So as you see, I have most of these apps turned off unless I really need the app running in the background like Google Maps or something similar like that. And other than that, I have all of my apps turned off, and turning off background apps doesn't mean you won't get notifications anymore. It just means the app is not running in the background. So notifications and everything else will still work just fine. Now going back, let me actually lock my device and show you another feature iOS 11 has. So if I want to wake up my phone, I can just call it by Hey Siri. So as you see, I did nothing, the phone turned off just by itself. So I'm gonna do that once again. Hey Siri. And Siri activates. So what the phone does right there, it has the microphones constantly on, listening for Hey Siri whenever you're speaking to it. So a microphone's constantly listening to you does eat a lot of battery, and we're gonna turn this off by going into Siri and search, and from here the first one right here, Hey Siri. So turn this off, and after that your microphones will shut off unless you actually need the microphones. Next up, we're gonna go back to the lock screen or the home screen, and from here go to widgets. Now if you don't really use widgets or they're just wasting space here, it's better to just go edit them and remove the ones you don't need, or remove all of them if you don't use any one of them. For me, I use widgets once in a while and it doesn't really affect my performance since my phone is new, so I'm gonna leave this on. Moving forward, we're gonna go back into settings. Let's go into privacy and location services. Now from here, you'll see all of the applications that are using your location. So for most apps, you don't really need to give them your location. So even stuff like Facebook doesn't really need your notification. So I'm going to turn this off. And even for apps you don't really use, you can simply turn them off. Or apps you think don't really need your location, you can also turn those off. And trust me, this will save you a lot of battery. And especially turn off the ones that are using your location all the time. So the apps that say always, turn them to at least while the app is being used, or simply turn them off to never if you don't really want the application to know your location. So definitely don't have anything that's using your location always. And besides that, any app that doesn't need your location at all, simply turn it off. Now while we're here, we're gonna go down and go into system services. And from here again, a lot of system apps that use your location and they don't really need it. So turn the ones off that you don't really need. So things like location based ads, you don't need location based ads. So you don't want advertisers to know your location. Share my location. HomeKit, if you don't use the HomeKit, you can turn this off as well. Compass calibration, so stuff like that. So things you don't really need. Product improvements, you don't need any one of them. So this is just for developers. So developers will get your location. They don't need that at all. It's just helping the developers. It doesn't help you at all. So I'm gonna turn all of those off. And besides that, there are a lot of different things you can turn off, like setting time zones and all of that. And at the bottom, you'll see all of the apps and how they're using your location. So purple means they've used your location very recently. And gray means they haven't really used your location in the last 24 hours. So look at the ones that are using your location constantly and turn them off if you need to. And now let's go back to privacy. And from here, let's go to the last one, motion and fitness. So motion and fitness, another one of the places that use sensors to determine how much you're walking and all of that. If you don't really need that, you can simply turn that off as well. And going back, let's check out analytics. So this is where your location is being shared to Apple and iCloud and all of that. Another place that doesn't really need your location, so turn all of that off. And advertisers also don't really need your location, so you can turn on limited ad, and that way advertisers won't know your location. Now let's go back to settings, and from here let's go into iTunes and app stores. And from here, make sure you have automatic downloads turned off, so your phone is not automatically looking for new updates or new apps and downloading them itself. So you can still do that manually whenever you need to. And let's go back into general. And from here, hands off. So hands off is a feature that will let you pick up what you left on your iPhone to your Mac or another Apple device you have. So if you don't really need that or don't use that or don't even know what that is, so simply turn it off. And so this will stop uploading your data to iCloud, so you can open the same page you left off on another device. And besides that, let's go into cellular. And from here, make sure you have personal hotspot turned off. And besides that, you can also look at cellular data and apps that use your cellular data. So there might be apps that don't really need to use your data. So especially gaming apps, they don't need to use your cellular data. All they're gonna do is load more ads on your phone, so you don't really need that. So I definitely turn those off. Or even apps you want to stay connected to the internet, you can even turn those off if you don't really use them on cellular data. And these were basically the main things. And lastly, what you can do is go into control panel and turn on low power mode. And you probably know this, but low power mode basically does the same thing. It lowers performance and basically helps you save battery life by not always looking for new notifications and limiting the amount of mails and everything it checks and how often it checks that. So yeah guys, try all of this and this should possibly help you save a lot of battery life. But if you do have an older phone, I do recommend a power bank. And I will link some affordable power banks in the description box just in case you're interested. But other than that, if this video helped you out, let me know in a comment down below and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.